Hi, welcome to our channel of IGNOU audiobooks, Indira Gandhi National Open University, School of Computer and Information Sciences, SOCIS, Bachelor's Degree Programs. Bachelor of Computer Applications, BCA. Semester I. BCSL 013 Computer Basics and PC Software Lab. Block-1 Lab Course. Unit-1 Operating System. 1.0 Introduction. In this unit, we are going to learn basics of computer. Computer is a machine that performs tasks or calculations according to a set of instructions or programs. Compared to those early machines, today's computers are amazing. Not only are they thousands of times faster, they can fit on your desk, in your lap, or even in your pocket. Computers work through an interaction of hardware and software. Hardware is physical component of a computer system. It is a tiny rectangular chip inside the computer called the Central Processing Unit, CPU, or microprocessor. It is the brain of computer, the part that translates instructions and performs calculations. Hardware items such as monitor, keyboard, mouse, printer, and other items are often called hardware devices. Software refers to the instructions or programs that tell the hardware what to do. The operating system, OS, is system software that manages computer and the devices connected to it. OS is responsible for management and coordination of activities and the sharing of the limited resources of computer. The OS acts as a host for other application software. We will be discussing about two well-known operating systems: A. Windows operating system, and B. Linux operating system. 1.1 Objectives. After going through this unit, you should be able to understand about computer and its components. Features of Windows XP. Know the installation procedure of Windows XP. Features of Linux, Fedora. Know the installation procedure of Fedora, and know the utilities and basic commands of Fedora. 1.2 Familiarization with I/O port, keyboard, memory. Computer plays a key role in how individuals work and how they live. Even the smallest organizations have computers to help them operate more efficiently, and many individuals use computers at home for educational, entertainment, and business purposes. Thus you must be familiar with computers and its components. In the following subsections, we will discuss the same, and there is practice session also at the end of this section. Hope you will enjoy this practice session. 1st February 2001 Computer and motherboard. Computer. A computer is programmable machine that receives input, stores, manipulate data, and provides output in a useful format. Computer takes input from input devices and then compute in CPU and stores in memory and sends output to output devices. The most common device for input is the keyboard. When you type, you are putting information into the computer, which is known as input. The most common device for output is the monitor. These input-output devices are connected through I/O ports. A computer system unit contains many parts, as shown in Figure 1.2a and Figure 1.2b. Motherboard. The motherboard is the main circuit board of a computer. It is also known as the main board or system board. Typically, the motherboard contains the CPU, BIOS, memory, mass storage interfaces, serial and parallel ports, expansion slots, and all the controllers required to control standard peripheral devices, such as the display screen, keyboard, and disk drive. Collectively, all these chips that reside on the motherboard are known as the motherboard's chipset. The motherboard can be thought of as the backbone of the computer. Figure 1.2 A. Overview of motherboard. Look at the screen. Figure 1.2 B. Detailed overview of motherboard. CPU. The CPU is the central electronic chip that contains the processing power of the computer. Today, all CPUs are microprocessors. A microprocessor is a complete computer on a silicon chip. A microprocessor does all of the functions of a computer. Stores data and instructions waiting to be used. Follows changeable instructions. Does input, processing, and output. Memory. Memory is the part of the computer that temporarily stores applications, documents, and system operating information. 1st February 2002 I/0 ports. In this subsection, we will study about I/O ports. Ports and connectors. A port is a connector located on the motherboard or on a separate adapter. This we will discuss in following subsection. As shown in figure 1.2, an internal view of some of the I/O ports. On the back of computers are several I/O or input-output ports. Above, on the very top are two PS2 ports, normally used for mouse and keyboard connections. Below that are the USB or Universal Serial Bus ports. Below those are two serial ports beside a long parallel port that is often used to connect to a printer. On the bottom right is a game port for joysticks or other game controllers. On the bottom left is a microphone hookup, a speaker hookup, and an additional hookup for another sound input device like a musical keyboard. I/O ports are there to connect to I/O devices. There are various I/O devices which are discussed in the next subsection. 1st February 2003 I/O devices. Few I/O devices are given Table 1.1. Table 1.1 I/O devices. Input devices, mouse, joystick, scanner, light pen. Output device, monitor, LCD, printer, plotter. Here, we are discussing about keyboard and mouse. Rest is kept for you to explore. Keyboard basics. Keyboard is used to type data into the computer. Is most common input device. Has special keys for giving the computer commands. Commands tell the computer to do something, like save the file. These special keys are called command or function keys. Types of keys. Typing keys. Main typing keypad. It holds alphabetic characters such as letter, special characters and numbers for typing. Numeric keypad. It can be used as numeric and directional keys. Pressing the num-lock key above the numeric keypad will tell whether the keys are on numeric or directional mode. If it is on numeric mode and can enter numbers. If it is off, it is on directional mode and only used for moving a cursor. On screen up, down, left or right. Function keys. There are 12 functions keys starting from F1 through F12. These keys are used for special purposes. Control keys. It has two groups of keys, arranged from top to bottom. The top keys holds insert, home, page up, page down, delete, and end keys. Insert key switches between insert and overtype modes. Home key brings you back at the beginning of a page. Page up and page down keys help you to move one page or screen up or down. Delete key erases a text or page. The end key takes you at the end of a page. The bottom keys are independent directional keys, which let you to move the cursor left, right, up and down. Status lights, escape key, print screen SISRQ, scroll lock, and pause break are used for frequent functions. Status lights, these lights indicate whether num lock, caps lock or scroll lock light is on off. There are several shortcut keys to make our work convenient when mouse is not working or if we do not want to do several maneuvers with the mouse. It makes our work convenient while working with MS Word. Ctrl plus A select all contents of the page. Ctrl plus B bold highlighted selection. Ctrl plus C copy selected text. Ctrl plus E aligns the line or selected text to the center of the screen. Ctrl plus F open find box. Ctrl plus I italic highlighted selection. Ctrl plus J aligns the selected text or line to justify the screen. Ctrl plus K insert link. Ctrl plus L aligns the line or selected text to the left of the screen. Ctrl plus M indent the paragraph. Ctrl plus P open the print window. Ctrl plus spacebar reset highlighted text to the default font. Ctrl plus 1 single space lines. Ctrl plus 2 double space lines. Ctrl plus 5 1.5 line spacing. Ctrl plus Alt plus 1 changes text to heading 1. Ctrl plus Alt plus 2 changes text to heading 2. Ctrl plus Alt plus 3 changes text to heading 3. Alt plus Ctrl plus F2 open new document. Ctrl plus F1 open the task pane. Ctrl plus F2 display the print preview. Ctrl plus Shift increases the highlighted text size by 1. Ctrl plus increase selected font plus 1 pts. Ctrl plus Shift plus decrease selected font -1 pts if 12 pt or lower, if above 12 decreases font by +2 pt. Ctrl plus decrease selected font -1 pts. Ctrl plus C insert a cent sign, cent yes. Ctrl plus R aligns the line or selected text to the right of the screen. Ctrl plus T create a hanging indent. Ctrl plus U underline highlighted selection. Ctrl plus V paste. Ctrl plus X cut selected text. Ctrl plus Y redo the last action performed. Ctrl plus Z undo last action. Ctrl plus Shift plus F change the font. Ctrl plus Shift plus increase selected font plus 1 pts up to 12 pt and then increases font plus 2 pts. Ctrl plus char. Insert a character with an accent, grave, mark. Where char is the character you want. For example, if you wanted an accented E you would use Ctrl plus E as your shortcut key. To reverse the accent mark use the opposite accent mark, often on the tilde key. Ctrl plus Shift plus asterisk view or hide non-printing characters. Ctrl plus left arrow moves one word to the left. Ctrl plus right arrow moves one word to the right. Ctrl plus up arrow moves to the beginning of the line or paragraph. Ctrl plus down arrow moves to the end of the paragraph. Ctrl plus del deletes word to right of cursor. Ctrl plus backspace deletes word to left of cursor. Ctrl plus end moves the cursor to the end of the document. Ctrl plus home moves the cursor to the beginning of the document. Now, this trend has changed and the connection is replaced by USB, Universal Serial Bus, and wireless connectors. Most modern PCs, motherboards, even don't have PS2 connectors, only USB. Since there is no cable connection with main PC, wireless keyboard gets power from battery or AC power connection. This is the side effect of wireless keyboards. You often have to change battery, mouse, The mouse is a small device used to point to a particular place on the screen and select in order to perform one or more actions. It can be used to select menu, commands, size windows, start programs, etc. The most conventional kind of mouse has two buttons on top, the left one being used most frequently. Mouse buttons. Primary button, left button for left click. Secondary button, right button for right click. Scroll wheel for moving page up or down. Mouse actions. Pointing, point the object. Left click, used to select an item. Double click, used to start a program or open a file. Right click, usually used to display a set of commands. Drag and drop, it allows you to select and move an item from one location to another. To achieve this, place the cursor over an item on the screen, click the left mouse button and while holding the button down move the cursor to where you want to place the item, and then release it. How mouse is connected to PC. Mouse is connected to PC similarly as keyboard. It can be connected with either PS2 connectors or USB. The connections can be through a cable or wirelessly as well. 1st February 2004 Memory. Now we discuss about one of the most important parts of computers, i.e. memory. Computers generally possess several distinct types of memory, each of which holds or stores information for subsequent use. The vast majority of computer memory can be placed into one of two categories, primary memory and secondary memory. Primary memory, often called main memory, constitutes that device or group of devices that holds instructions and data for rapid and direct access by the computer's central processing unit, CPU. Primary memory is synonymous with random access memory, RAM. Modern RAM is made of semiconductor circuitry. RAM is a volatile form of information storage, meaning that when electrical power is terminated, any data that it contains is lost. There are other semiconductor memory devices accessed by the CPU that are generally considered as being distinct from primary memory, i.e., different from RAM. These memory units include cache memory, read-only memory, ROM, and programmable read-only memory, PROM, and EPROM, erasable programmable read-only memory. Secondary memory, also called auxiliary memory or mass storage, consists of devices not directly accessible by the CPU. Hard drives, floppy disks, tapes, and optical disks are widely used for secondary storage. First, most secondary storage devices are capable of containing much more information than is feasible for primary memory, hence the use of the term mass storage as a synonym for secondary memory. A second, and essential, feature of secondary memory is that it is non-volatile. This means that data is stored with or without electrical power being supplied to the device, as opposed to RAM, which can retain its data only so long as electrical power is present. Like primary memory, many secondary memory devices are capable of storing information, as well as retrieving it. Magnetic technology devices, such as hard drives, floppy disks, and tape, have this read-write capability, as do magnetoptical drives. However, some mass storage devices can only read data, as in the case of CD-ROM, compact disc read-only memory drives. CD-ROMs utilize optical technology. However, newer optical technologies, such as CDRW, compact disc rewritable, can both read and write information like Magnetic storage devices. Hard disk. The hard disk is the main, and usually largest, data storage device in a computer. The operating system, software titles and most other files are stored in the hard disk. Now let's have a practice session. 1.3 Windows operating system. The main operating systems involved in networking nowadays are Windows and Linux. Both are having their own advantages and disadvantages. Linux works better on older, less powerful computer hardware because it requires less resource, memory or processing, as compared to Windows. Compared to Windows, Linux is virus-free and bugs-free. Windows provides the user a mature, familiar and interactive interface that is easy to learn and understandable. But we think that a network administrator should have an expertise on both of these leading network operating systems. Even most of the network administrators are running both Linux and Windows on the server for the best networking. This section provides you the 1. Discussions, demonstrations, and lab exercises to sharpen your skills and knowledge necessary to admin and support Windows XP Linux. Networking. 2. It contains an overview of Windows XP and Linux Unix in the beginning, to develop your understanding of these operating systems. 3. Further in this course you have an example to introduce you in the lab. Then you have different lab exercises on Linux Unix and on Windows XP. 1st March 2001 Overview of Windows. Background to Windows. Windows XP is an operating system that was produced by Microsoft for use on personal, including home and business desktops, laptops, and media centers. It was first released to computer manufacturers on 24 August 2001, and is the most popular version of Windows, based on installed user base. The name, XP, is short for Experience. Windows XP was the successor to both Windows 2000 and Windows ME, and was the first consumer-oriented operating system produced by Microsoft. System requirement for Windows XP. Pentium 233 MHz, processor or faster, 300 MHz is recommended. At least 64 MB of RAM, 128 MB is recommended. At least 1.5 GB of available space on the hard disk. CD-ROM or DVD-ROM drive. Keyboard and a Microsoft mouse or some other compatible pointing device. Video adapter and monitor with Super VGA 800x600 or higher resolution. Sound card. Speakers or headphones. 1st March 2002 Windows installing procedure. This procedure demonstrates how to install Windows XP Professional. The procedure to install Windows XP Home Edition is very similar to the Professional Edition. Since Windows XP Pro is more advanced operating system, it will be used to demonstrate the installation procedure. The best way install Windows XP is to do a clean install. It is not difficult to perform a clean installation. Before you perform the installation, I recommend that you check Windows XP compatibility list to ensure that your hardware is supported by XP. If your hardware is not on the compatibility list, you can check your hardware manufacturer's website to download the drivers for Windows XP. Save all the necessary drivers onto floppy disks or CD before you start the installation. 1st March 2003 Working with XP. The typical Windows XP desktop includes following desktop icons. Icons are small pictures that represent files, folders, programs, and other items. Double-clicking a desktop icon starts or opens the item it represents. For e.g., Internet Explorer. It is used to quickly access Internet. The taskbar is usually located on the bottom of the screen. It houses the Start button, clock, and a task button for each active program currently running and each open folder. 2. Parts of a window. Most windows have the same basic parts. Title bar displays the name of the document and program, or the folder name if you are working in a folder. Minimize, maximize, and close buttons. These buttons hide the window, enlarge it to fill the whole screen, and close it, respectively. More details on these shortly. Menu bar contains items that you can click to make choices in a program. See using menus, buttons, bars, and boxes. Scroll bar lets you scroll the contents of the window to see information that is currently out of view. Borders and corners. You can drag these with your mouse pointer to change the size of the window. Moving a window. To move a window, point to its title bar with the mouse pointer. Then drag the window to the location that you want. Dragging means pointing to an item, holding down the mouse button, moving the item with the pointer, and then releasing the mouse button. Changing the size of a window. To make a window fill the entire screen, click its Maximize button or double-click the window's title bar. To return a maximized window to its former size, click its Restore button. This appears in place of the Maximize button. Or double-click the window's title bar. To resize a window, make it smaller or bigger, point to any of the window's borders or corners. When the mouse pointer changes to a two-edged arrow, drag the border or corner to shrink or enlarge the window. A window that is maximized cannot be resized. You must restore it to its previous size first. B. Hiding a window. Hiding a window is called minimizing it. If you want to get a window out of the way temporarily without closing it, minimize it. To minimize a window, click its Minimize button. The window disappears from the desktop and is visible only as a button on the taskbar, the long horizontal bar at the bottom of your screen. To make a minimized window appear again on the desktop, click its Taskbar button. The window appears exactly as it did before you minimized it. Closing a window. Closing a window removes it from the desktop and taskbar. If you are done with a program or document and don't need to return to it right away, close it. To close a window, click its Close button. C. Switching between windows. If you open more than one program or document, your desktop can quickly become cluttered with windows. Keeping track of which windows you have open isn't always easy, because some windows might partially or completely cover others. Using Alt+Tab, you can switch to the previous window by pressing Alt+Tab, or cycle through all open windows and the desktop by holding down Alt and repeatedly pressing Tab. Release Alt to show the selected window. Arranging windows automatically. Now that you know how to move and resize windows, you can arrange them however you like on your desktop. You can also have windows automatically. Arrange them in one of three ways: cascading, vertically stacked, or side by side. To choose one of these options, right-click an empty area of the taskbar, then click Cascade Windows, Show Windows Stacked, or Show Windows Side by Side. 3. Program Management. You can launch most of your applications via the Start button and Start menu. Most of your applications can be launched by selecting Start, All Programs, then any program name, e.g. Microsoft Word. If an application is saved within a folder, you would launch it by selecting Start, Programs, folder name, e.g. Accessories, then program name, e.g. WordPad. You can switch between running applications by clicking on them in the taskbar, or holding down the Alt key, then depressing and releasing the Tab key. If you inadvertently launch multiple copies of the same program, you will find that all the of copies will be grouped onto one particular tab button. The tab will display the name of the program and the number of copies of the program that are open. To choose a specific copy, click the tab button and all of the copies of the program names will pop up. Click the one you want to view and it will be displayed. Similarly, you can open other search engine like Google Chrome and Firefox. Explore whole world. 4. File management. Step-by-step illustration for creating and deleting folder. Click on the Start button. Place the pointer on My Documents. Select New from the menu File. Select Folder. Once the folder option has been selected, you will see that on the right window a new folder will appear that has the name New Folder and that it is selected. Rename it My Folder or any other name you want. Then select the folder, right-click and then select option Delete by clicking. When it asks you if you want to send the folder to the recycle bin, click Yes. Copy or move a folder or file. Select the folder to be copied. Once the folder has been selected, click on Copy. Select the folder where you want to copy, then open that folder, right-click, and select Paste option. In the case of not having the folder created to which we want to copy to, click Make New Folder, rename new folder with name you want and click OK. Copy or move multiple files or folders. 1. Double-click on the folder My Documents and create folder 1 and folder 2. 2. Select the folder, folder 1. 3. Press Ctrl, select another folder, folder 2. 4. Select from right panel under File and Folder Task heading, copy the selected items or move the selected items. 5. The following window will be open. 6. Then double-click the folder you want to move the selected items. 7. If you want to copy in new folder, then select Make New Folder and new folder is created, then select Copy. This can also be done to move or copy files. Some Windows XP tips. Check the taskbar for the programs that are currently running on your computer. You should close, click on the X at the upper right, all duplicate instances of the same program to free up memory. If your application should hang, keyboard or mouse does not respond, hold down the Ctrl and Alt keys, then depress and release the Delete key. You will get a menu of the tasks currently loaded in memory. Highlight the application that hung, usually the one that is marked not responding, and click on End Task. You can usually unload the application gracefully without having to reboot your computer. Files deleted from your local hard drive will be saved in the recycle bin until you empty the recycle bin. To empty the recycle bin, right-click on Recycle Bin and select Empty Recycle Bin. If you need to recover deleted files from the recycle bin, right-click on Recycle Bin and select Explore. You should move the file from the recycle bin to another folder on the hard drive. For example, click and drag the file in Recycle Bin, Explore to the desktop. It's best to empty the recycle bin from time to time, as deleted files saved in the recycle bin actually take up more hard disk space than if they were in a regular folder. But remember, once the recycle bin is emptied, you cannot recover the deleted files. Also, files deleted from diskettes are not saved in the recycle bin. Finding a missing document. If the document was created recently on your computer, launch the application you used to create it, and select File. Windows remembers the last 9 documents you opened by default. If you remembered the file name or part of the file name but not its location, click on the Start button, Search, and Files or Folders. On the menu on the left side, select All Files and Folders. In the Look-in box, select C. In the All or Part of Name box, enter the file name, and click Search. Windows will list all instances of the file if it finds any matches. If you know part of the file name, you can enter it in a word or phrase in the File box. Saving documents. In Microsoft Word, the default location to save your document is the My Documents folder. To save your document in a different folder, click on the yellow folder with the up arrow to browse one level up. On the left side, click on the yellow folder with the asterisk to get to your favorites folders, or click the yellow folder with a yellow asterisk on it, on the toolbar, to create a new folder. The Save In box shows the current folder. Note, if you use Corel WordPerfect, your default folder for saving documents is My Files. You may use either folder, but it's best to create a folder for each project and save your documents in their corresponding project folder. 1.4 Linux Operating System. 1.4. One overview of Unix Linux operating system. Even after 30 years of its creation, Unix is still regarded as one of the most versatile, flexible and powerful operating systems in the computer world. It was created at Bell Labs in 1970, written in the C programming language, which was developed at the same time. It supports large numbers of simultaneous users, runs with few alterations on many hardware platforms, provides some platform independence, and of course it was and is a simple, elegant, and easy to use. At least compared to its predecessors, Linux is a relatively new Unix flavor derived from the work of Linus Torvalds, who was interested to develop a Unix for academic use. Linux is one of the many versions of the Unix operating system. Working on Linux means working on one of the flavors of Unix. The main advantage that Linux is absolutely free. You need not spend even the cost CD. It can be entirely free, downloadable from the internet. No registration fees, no costs per user, free updates, and freely available operating system and networking lab source code. It is portable, means can be configured on any processor like Intel, Solaris, etc., dual bootable, fast, reliable, secure, and versatile. These properties make it popular among the system administrators. While working on it, you may realize many more important features and advantages of Linux. Most of the exercises are command line based, but similar exercises you can try on your GUI based Linux. Fedora 10, also known as Cambridge, was released on November 25, 2008, and it brings faster boot experience with Plymouth, better printing, better webcam support, improved wireless network connection sharing, better software maintenance and update. We will learn how to install the DVD edition of the Fedora 10 operating system on your PC. Why the DVD edition? Because we believe it offers most of the applications you'll need. However, this guide will make things very simple for you, but if you get stuck somewhere in the middle of the installation and you need help, do not hesitate to use our commenting system at the end of the article. 1st April 2002 How to install Linux operating system. You will need the Fedora 10 DVD image that corresponds to your hardware architecture, i386 or ARM64, and which can be downloaded from here. When the download is over, burn the ISO image with your favorite CD DVD. Burning application, Brasero on Linux or Nero, Tburnexp, Roxio on Windows, on a blank DVD at 4x speed. It is always recommend having an empty hard drive for a Linux installation. That means no other operating system on it, no Windows, and you must have a minimum of 10 GB free space for the Fedora installation. Great, now let's begin. Insert or leave the DVD in your CD DVD-ROM device and reboot the computer in order to boot from the DVD. Hit the F8 or F12 key, depending on your BIOS, to select the CD DVD-ROM as the boot device. You'll be presented with a very nice Fedora artwork grub splash and some options. At this stage, we simply suggest you press enter and wait for the system to load. Select the skip option when you are asked if you want to check the media before installation, and press enter. Anaconda, the Fedora installer, will load and you'll see the welcome screen. Click next. Choose your language. Choose your keyboard layout. Type a name for the computer. It can be anything you want. Select your location, country, city. Enter the root, system administrator, password. The longer, the better, right? It's somewhere. Here comes the partitioning part. If you have an empty hard drive, all you have to do is click next, but make sure the remove all partitions on selected drives and create default layout option is selected. If you don't have an empty hard drive and you still want to install Fedora 10 on your machine, then make sure you select the use free space on the selected drives and create default layout option. 10 GB minimum of free space is required. Click next. We also recommend to select the encrypt system option. Enter a password, the longer, the better, for the encrypted partition. Click the Write Changes to Disk button when asked. The hard drive will be formatted and the partitions will be created. Now, you can select the desired packages. Hit the Next button and everything will be done automatically from now on. Just sit back and watch how the packages are copied to your hard drive. The installation process will take about 8 to 10 minutes, depending on your computer specs and the selected packages. It starts installing, wait for some time. When the installation is over, you will get a "Congratulations, the installation is complete" screen. Click the Reboot button and your computer will automatically restart. Remove the DVD from your optical drive. Your brand new Fedora 10 operating system will boot for the first time. If you have chosen to encrypt your partition, then you'll be prompted for the password. The system will continue to boot and in a few seconds you will see the first boot configuration wizard. Click Forward on the welcome screen. Click Forward on the license screen. Create a regular user for the system. Set the date and time. Click Finish, and you will see the login screen. Enter the password for the regular user you have just created. That's it. 1st April 2003 Linux Utilities and Basic Commands. The following is a list of commonly used commands which are organized under different categories for understanding and ease of use. Keys preceded by a character are control key combinations. Terminal control characters. H backspace erase previously typed character. U erase entire line of input so far typed. D end of input for programs reading from terminal. S stop printing on terminal. Q continues printing on terminal. Z currently running job, restart with BG or FG. DEL, C kill currently running program and allow cleanup before exiting. / emergency kill of currently running program with no chance of cleanup. Login and authentication. Login access computer, start interactive session. Logout disconnect terminal session. Password change local login password, you must set a non-trivial password. Information. Date show date and time. History list of previously executed commands. Find send or receive mail messages. MSGS display system messages. Man show online documentation by program name. Info online documentation for new programs. W. Who is on the system and what are they doing? Who am I who is logged onto this terminal? Top show system status and top CPU using processes. Uptime show one-line summary of system status. Finger find out info about a user at system. File management. Cat combine files. CP copy files. ls list files in a directory and their attributes. MV change file name or directory location. RM remove files. ln create another link, name, to a file. Chmod set file permissions. This encrypt a data file with a private key. Find files that match specified criteria. Display contents of files. Cat copy file to display device. 6 screen editor for modifying text files. More show text file on display terminal with paging control. Head show first few lines of a file, S. Tail show last few lines of a file, or reverse line order. Grep display lines that match a pattern. LPR send file to line printer. PR format file with page headers, multiple columns etc. Diff compare two files and show differences. CMP compare two binary files and report if different. OD display binary file as equivalent octal hex codes. File examine file, S, and tell you whether text, data, etc. WC count characters, words, and lines in a file. Directories. CD change to new directory. Mdir create new directory. Rudir remove empty directory, remove files first. MV change name of directory. PWD show current directory. Devices. DF summarize free space on disk device. Do show disk space used by files or directories. Special character handling for C shell. Asterisk match any characters in a file name. Tilde user shorthand for home directory of user. $name substitute value of variable name. / turn of special meaning of character that follows. Inverted comma in pairs, quote string with special chars, except exclamation mark. Inverted double comma, in pairs, quote string with special chars, except exclamation mark, $, apostrophe, in pairs, substitute output from enclosed command. Controlling program execution for C shell. And, run job in background. DEL, C, kill job in foreground. Z, suspend job in foreground. FG, restart suspended job in foreground. BG, run suspended job in background. Semicolon, delimit commands on same line. Bracket, group commands on same line. Exclamation mark, rerun earlier command from history list. PS, print process status. Kill background job or previous process. Nice is equal to run program at lower priority. At is equal to run program at a later time. Crontab, run program at specified intervals. Limit, see or set resource limits for programs. Alias, create alias name for program. In login. CSH, execute command file. Description of commonly used Unix commands. The description for the most commonly used Unix commands is given below in an alphabetic order. A. Cat. Cat allows you to read multiple files and then print them out. You can combine files by using the operator and append files by using syntax, cat, argument, specific file. Example, cat abc, txt. If you want to append 3 files, abc, txt, definite, txt, xyz, txt, give the command as cat abc, txt definite, txt xyz, txt, all, b, cd, chdir. cd, or chdir, stands for change directory. This command is the key command to move around your file structure. Syntax, cd, name of directory you want to move to. When changing directories, start with and then type the complete file path. Like cd vvs abc definite. In this egg, you are moving from vvs directory to abc directory, then move to definite directory. You can also move relative to the current directory by typing cd vvs abc definite. To move relative to the parent directory of your current directory, use cd vvs abc definite. C. Chmod. Chmod, which stands for change mode, changes who can access a particular file. A mode is created by combining the various options from who, opcode, and permission. Syntax, chmod, option, mode file. If you look at a list of files using the long list command lsl, you'll see the permissions, owner, file size, modification time, and file name. The first column of the list shows who can read, write, and execute the files or directories, in other words, the permissions. It basically shows who has permission to do what to a given file or directory. R stands for read and means that you are allowed to read the file or directory. W stands for write and gives permission to edit or change the file as well as create, move, rename, or remove a directory. X stands for execute, which gives permission to run a file or search a directory. Every file or directory has 4 sets of RWX permissions. The first set represents the user, U, the second set represents the group, G, the third set represents other, O, and the fourth set represents all, A. The column will look like this, RWX, RWX, RWX. Each set of RWX represents user, group, and other respectively. Only the owner of a file or a privileged user may change the permissions on a file. There are 2 ways to change permissions on a file or directory, either numerically or by using lettered commands. Both ways use the command chmod. To add permissions to a file, you use plus. To remove permissions, you use. For example, take a file rwrr1-moni 476 April 14 17 13 vvs. txt. To allow a group, Moni, in this case, write access, you would type chmod g plus wvvs. txt. If you wanted to remove readability from other you would type chmod orvvs. txt. It is also possible to specify permissions using a 3-digit sequence. This is a more efficient way to change permissions, or at least it requires less typing. So use this method if it doesn't confuse you. Each type of permission is given an octal value. Read is given the value of 4, write is given the value of 2, and execute is given the value of 1. These values are added together for each user. Category. The permissions are changed by using a 3-digit sequence with the first digit representing owner permission, the second digit representing group permission, and the third digit representing other permission. For example, if you wanted to make VVS TXT readable, writable, and executable for the user, readable and writable for the group, and readable for other, you would type chmod 764 VVS TXT. The first digit means readable and writable for the user, 4 plus 2 plus 1. The second digit means readable and writable for the group, 4 plus 2 plus 0, and the third digit means readable for other, 4 plus 0 plus 0. If you want to change the permissions on a directory tree, use the OR option. Chmod R will recursively change the permissions of directories and their contents. D. CP. The CP command copies files or directories from one place to another. You can copy a set of files to another file, or copy one or more files under the same name in a directory. If the destination of the file you want to copy is an existing file, then the existing file is overwritten. If the destination is an existing directory, then the file is copied into that directory. Syntax, CP, options, file 1 file 2 if you want to copy the file favorites. HTML. Into the directory called Laksh, you give the command as cp favorites. HTML VVS Laksh. A handy option to use with cp is R. This recursively copies a particular directory and all of its contents to the specified directory, so you won't have to copy one file at a time. Date. The date command can be used to display the date or to set a date. In Unix, the term date includes the time as well. Syntax, date, option, plus format. Date, options, string. The first structure shows how date can be used to display the current date. A certain format can be specified in which the date should be displayed. Check the Unix manual for specific formats and options. The second structure allows you to set the date by supplying a numeric string. Only privileged users will be able to use this second command structure. Diff. Diff displays the lines that differ between two given files. Syntax, diff, options, directory options, file 1 file 2. Diff can be an extremely valuable tool for both checking errors and building new pages.
If you run a diff between two files, you will be shown what differences the files have line by line. The lines referring to file 1 are marked with the symbol. The lines referring to file 2 are marked by the symbol. If the file is a directory, diff will list the file in the directory that has the same name as file 2. If both of the files are directories, diff will list all the lines differing between all files that have the same name. If you have a file that is not working properly, it can be a great help to check it against a similar file that is working. It will often quickly alert you to a line of code that's missing. A handy option to use if you want to generally compare two files without noting the complex differences between them is the H option. H stands for half-hearted. Using I as an option will ignore differences in uppercase and lowercase characters between files, and B will ignore repeating blanks and line breaks. G. Exit. The exit command allows you to terminate a process that is currently occurring. For example, if you wanted to leave a remote host that you were logged onto, see our login also, you should type exit. This would return you to your home host. H. Find. Find searches through directory trees beginning with each path name and finds the files that match the specified condition. S. You must specify at least one path name and one condition. Syntax: find path name, S, condition, S. There are several handy conditions you can use to find exactly what you want. The name condition will find files whose names match a specified pattern. The structure for the name condition is find path name pattern. The condition print will print the matching files to the path name specified. Print can also be used in conjunction with other conditions to print the output. If you wanted to find all the files named favorites HTML in the directory RAM, then you'd do this. Find RAM name favorites HTML print. This looks through the directory RAM and finds all the files in that directory that contain favorites HTML, then prints them to the screen. Your output would look like this. RAM 16_candles favorites HTML. RAM favorites HTML. RAM breakfast_club favorites HTML. All meta characters, asterisk, etc., used with name should be escaped. Place a backslash before the character, or quoted. Meta characters come in handy when you are searching for a pattern and only know part of the pattern or need to find several similar patterns. For example, if you are searching for a file that contains the word favorite, then use the meta character asterisk to represent matching 0 or more of the preceding characters. This will show you all files which contain favorite. Find RAM name, asterisk favorite asterisk, print. This looks through the directory RAM and finds all the files in that directory that contain the word favorite. The output would look like this. RAM 16_candles favorites HTML. RAM favorites HTML. RAM least_favorites HTML. RAM breakfast_club favorites HTML. RAM favorite_line HTML. The user condition finds files belonging to a particular user ID or name. I. grep. The grep command searches a file or files for lines that match a provided regular expression. Grep comes from a command meaning to globally search for a regular expression and then print the found matches. Syntax: grep, options, regular expression, files. To exit this command, type 0 if lines have matched, 1 if no lines match, and 2 for errors. This is very useful if you need to match things in several files. If you wanted to find out which files in our VVS directory contain the word BCA, you could use grep to search the directory and match those files with that word. All that you have to do is give the command as shown. Grep BCA, VVS asterisk. The asterisk used in this example is called a meta character, and it represents matching 0 or more of the preceding characters. In this example, it is used to mean all files and directories in this directory. So, grep will search all the files and directories in VS and tell you which files contain BCA. J. Head displays the first 10 lines of a file, unless otherwise stated. Syntax: head. N. Files. For example, the following command will display the first 15 lines of favorites HTML. Head 15 favorites. HTML. K. Kill. Kill ends the execution of one or more process IDs. In order to do this, you must own the process or be designated a privileged user. To find the process ID of a certain job, give the command ps. Syntax, kill, options, PIDs. There are different levels of intensity to the kill command, and these can be represented either numerically or symbolically. Kill 1 or HUP makes a request to the server to terminate the process, while kill 9 or kill forces a process to terminate absolutely. Most politely, Unix users will attempt to kill a process using 1 first before forcing a process to die. ls. ls will list all the files in the current directory. If one or more files are given, ls will display the files contained within name or list all the files with the same name as name. The files can be displayed in a variety of formats using various options. Syntax, ls, options, names. ls is a command you'll end up using all the time. It simply stands for list. If you are in a directory and you want to know what files and directories are inside that directory, type ls. Sometimes the list of files is very long and it flies past your screen so quickly you miss the file you want. To overcome this problem, give the command as shown below. ls vertical bar more. The character vertical bar, called pipe, is typed by using shift and the backslash key. Vertical bar more will show as many files as will fit on your screen, and then display a highlighted more at the bottom. If you want to see the next screen, hit enter for moving one line at a time, or the spacebar to move a screen at a time. Vertical bar more can be used anytime you wish to view the output of a command in this way. A useful option to use with ls command is l. This will list the files and directories in a long format. This means it will display the permissions, chmod, owners, group, size, date and time the file was last modified, and the file name. drwxrwxrxvvs staff 512 April 5, 934 Sridhar. txt. rwxrwrvvs staff 4233 April 1, 1020 resume. txt. rwxrrvvs staff 4122 April 1, 1201 favorites. HTML. There are several other options that can be used to modify the ls command, and many of these options can be combined. A will list all files in a directory, including those files normally hidden. F will flag file names by putting on directories, @ on symbolic links, and asterisk on executable files. Man. The man command can be used to view information in the online Unix manual. Syntax, man, options, section, subjects. Man searches for information about a file, command, or directory and then displays it on your screen. Each command is a subject in the manual. If no subject is specified, you must give either a keyword or a file. You can also search for commands that serve a similar purpose. For example, if you want more information about the chmod command, you should type man chmod. A screen will then appear with information about chmod. Type q to quit. mdir. Mdir creates a new directory. Syntax, mdir, options, directory name. For example, to create a directory called Pakyath in the present working directory, give the command as mdir prakyath. More. More displays the contents of files on your screen. Syntax, more, options, files. To have the next line displayed, hit the return key, otherwise press the spacebar to bring up the next screen. Press H for assistance with other commands, N to move to the next file, or Q to quit. Less. Less is similar to more in that it displays the contents of files on your screen. Unlike more, less allows backward and forward movement within the file. It does not read the whole file before displaying its contents, so with large files, less displays faster than more. Press H for assistance with other commands or Q to quit. Syntax, less, options, files. Q, MV. MV moves files and directories. It can also be used to rename files or directories. Syntax, MV, options, source target. If you wanted to rename VVS txt to VSV txt, you should give the command as MV VVS txt VSV txt. After executing this command, VVS txt would no longer exist, but a file with name VSV txt would now exist with the same contents. Password. The password command creates or changes a user's password. Only the owner of the password or a privileged user can make these changes. Syntax, password, options, files. S, pwd. Pwd prints the path name of the current directory. If you wanted to know the path of the current directory you were in, you give the command as pwd. You will get the complete path. rm. rm removes or deletes a link to a file from a directory. If a file has more than one link, then removing a link does not delete the file. But when the last link to a file is removed, the file gets deleted. A link is a name of a file. In Unix, a file can have many names. Syntax, rm, options, files. In order to remove a file, you must have write permission to the directory where the file is located. While removing a, which does T have write permission on, a prompt will come up asking you whether or not you wish to override the write protection. The R option is very handy and very dangerous. R can be used to remove a directory and all its contents. If you use the I option, you can possibly catch some disastrous mistakes because it'll ask you to confirm whether you really want to remove a file before going ahead and doing it. Indira allows you to remove or delete directories but not their contents. A directory must be empty in order to remove it using this command. Syntax, options, directories. If you wish to remove a directory and all its contents, you should use RMR. 1.5 Summary. In this section you have studied a brief introduction of computers, the history, and familiarization with its basic features including the technical description, the advantages and the differences between the two network operating systems, Windows and Linux Unix. Last but not the least, you would have understood the concepts better by undergoing through the interesting exercises. Thank you. Subscribe to our channel for more updates, and we will see you with the next chapter.